family. In today's video, I'm going to share funny stories, heartfelt stories, and also some mistakes that I've made in event planning. Let's start with my biggest mistake. That's number one. I prayed and asked the Lord to guide my steps in starting this business, but I went ahead of Him. And let me explain. I went ahead of Him by choosing the name on my own without asking for His opinion at all. I did that, and I think the name was, this is 20 years ago, but I think the name I came up with was like Kim's Catering or something, really generic, nothing special. And I told people that that was going to be the name. I went and I got cards made, and I'm doing all this stuff, preparing for getting the business stuff together to start this business with this name. And as the Lord would have it, one day I was in my house by myself, busy cleaning and doing what I do on a daily basis, and a soft voice said, "That's not the name." And I stopped and I said, "Lord, if this is you," I said, "tell me the name." And at that point in time, I heard a voice say, "Pure Elegance." I said, "Oh, Lord, did you say that the name is Pure Elegance?" Silence. So then, at this point in time, being what I would consider a babe in Christ, because it's one thing to grow up with the foundation in Christ, it's another to put it in action. So I considered myself at that point in time a babe in Christ. So I said, "Lord, if this is you, when I go to register this name, it'll come back free for me to use." And every step of the way since then, I put the Lord first and waited on His answer without jumping the gun. And wouldn't you know, 20 years later, I'm still using that name. And everything came back clear for me to use that name. So the moral of the story for me in all of that was to slow down and wait for His answer. As you can see, I'm back inside and I have a tablescape prepared. But before we get to talking about the tablescape, I want to tell a funny story. Now, this story is funny now, but it wasn't at the time. I get to a client's home to do a after Christmas Groundhog Day party, only to find that the couple was drunk. Okay, now I need this party to flow, and let me tell you a little bit about what I did. I took the husband and I placed him at the door. He's going to be the host. The wife, she had prepared meatballs, deviled eggs, and crab dip. But now, when she went into the kitchen with me and my assistant, little did we know that she made meatballs, but she forgot to thaw the meatballs out for the party. She made deviled eggs, but she made so many deviled eggs that you could take a dozen of eggs home, every guest, okay? And the crab dip was running down the street. Now, I need time to get all of this together to make this party flow, because I have former clients coming and possibly prospective clients. Now, at that point in time, thank God for Buddy. The entertainer that they hired his name was Buddy, and I happened to know him from the country club. So at this point in time, he's warming up, but I need him to get this party going quickly and buy me some time so that it just flows. So Buddy, I go over to him and he's warming up on the keyboard. Now, I know Buddy, and Buddy can make a keyboard sing. And he also sings a lot of Motown hits. So I go over to Buddy and I said, Buddy, I said, I need you to hit him with the oldie but goodie. Warm up quick, get this party started because I need time to get this food ready and to get these guests in the door. No problem. So then he's warming up. I go back to assist the husband who is the host, but because I have a sense of humor, I'm going to play off the fact that he's drunk for entertainment. Great. So this is what I do. He would get to the door, open the door, and he'd say to the guests, oh, can I take your, and right on cue I would say, their coats, Mr. So-and-so, and the guests would fall apart. We did this back and forth, and at different times he would forget what he was doing at the door, literally, and he'd turn around to me, right on cue. I'd say something and they'd fall apart. Okay, so I got this comedy show going between the two of us. My assistant's in the kitchen trying to keep the wife together and to get these meatballs heated up and enough time for the guests to eat. Put something in the crab dip so it's not running, to fill it up and run with the deviled eggs. I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. Okay, it turned out that this party ended up being a success, but you already know. You could have literally bought me for a penny. I just wanted to share. That is one of the funny stories in the life and the day of being an event planner. Now let's talk about this tablescape. To build on my tablescape, I started off with my gold chargers. And I think the color of the gold chargers with the pattern of this tablescape makes it pop. Then I took teal napkins and, as you can tell, draped them along the front. And that color also makes it pop. But I want to talk a little bit about my centerpiece. What I'm calling this tablescape is a housewarming table because of my centerpiece. My centerpiece, I took a plastic tray with some paper colored confetti, and I built, and of course the toilet paper, and I built it to look like a cake, and I just inserted kitchen utensils in it. Now, in the comment section, I want you to tell me other ideas that you might have in using the toilet paper cake. I've seen it used in different settings, but give me some different ideas of what you might use it for. I would also say it could be used as a hostess gift. I would take it, wrap it in cellophane, and put it in a bow and take it for a hostess gift. I think it looks great. I love how my tablescape turned out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, I shared a mistake that I had made in business. I also shared a funny story. And in closing, I'd like to share a heartfelt story. So this next client, I actually met through his son, who was a lawyer, and I would cater his Christmas open house parties every year. One year he said to me, my dad would like to have a Christmas evening celebration for me and my siblings when we come back to his house to open up presents. So I went to meet with the dad, and he explained exactly what he was looking for me to do, and I agreed, but He would be, turned out to be, and I wouldn't have had it any other way, my only client on Christmas Day. His setup would go like this. I would call him maybe like 2-3 weeks before Christmas, and I'd say, Mr. G, everything's on board. I'm gonna bring this, and this. We're set, ready to go. And he'd say, okay. Now, Christmas morning, I would call him probably right before I left home to go and set up for him, and our conversation would go like this. I call and I say, Mr. G, I'm on my way, and he'd always say, Kim, be careful because it's snowing or it's icy, and I'd say, okay, I have 4-wheel drive, I'll be okay. And as I would make my way down his street, I could see his house, and I could see him in the front window waiting for me. Then as I went down in his driveway and I would turn around in his driveway, he would be at the side door trying to help me. And I would go in and I would set up, and the look on his face was priceless. He was so happy that he could have his own little celebration when his family came back to his house for Christmas evening to open up presents. So I'd set it up, wish him Merry Christmas, and I'd leave. The next day, I would come back to pick up anything that I had set up with, and he always would point out a gift or something special that one of the kids or grandkids would have made or given him. And we'd chit-chat a little bit, and I'd leave. And this went on for a couple years, the whole time basically that I was in business. And one year, it was months before Christmas, I stopped in his son's law office just to say hi, only to find out that his dad had passed away a few months before I stopped in. And he said to me, Kim, I just want you to know everything that you did for my dad on Christmas Day, he so appreciated it. That meant the world to me, but I knew that his dad couldn't have been any more appreciative than he was. And actually, I looked forward to every year setting his Christmas evening celebration up. And I'll never forget that. That'll stay with me for years. Listen, in closing, I want to say, stay tuned because I have some exciting news about another direction that the channel's going in. And I want to share that. So until next time, be blessed.